mean, your catch on the fourth down when they had the free play or no?
No.
That real big one towards the end. No.
That was Jermaine.
That was Jermaine.
Yeah, I was actually in the way. Yeah.
Flag is thrown. It's a free play. Into the end zone. The pass. Caught for the touchdown. Kearse.
I'm very grateful that Jermaine is as good as a receiver as he has always been, because I was in the way. And so I'm so glad he had the concentration to make that catch and score that touchdown, because I was in the wrong place.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Had no clue. I don't think anybody did.
Good.
Wait, real quick. What did you say to him? I'm sure people asked you this after the 2014 when he made the catch against Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you guys were both in the end zone. I mean, I always love this about you too. And I wanted to tell you, like, just your fucking passion, dude, and like how into every moment I feel like you are. And I love like you and Sherm talking to the camera and like what you guys do and defending your teammates and defending the city and your team. I fucking love that, dude. I think there's an appropriate amount of people on each team, but it's like not every team has those guys. And sometimes they have the guys that are doing them where you're like, probably shouldn't be talking at all, really, let alone for your team and your city. But you guys were articulate. You had the right amount of passion in your eyes. It never came off like dickish or violent or like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even with Sherm at the end of to Aaron Andrews, I mean, that shit was unbelievable. And also I kept defending him. I'm like, these guys are like, what you guys are building yourself up to and the adrenaline and then the fact that Sherm, you know, and I know he's a well-spoken dude and not going to go off the rails, but like, dude, if that was me, I would have dropped so many F-bombs. I would have fucking probably grabbed the camera and shake. Like the fact that he had brought his energy to a place to where he could just stand and talk. Like, let's celebrate that for a minute after.
For sure.
But when you were screaming at Jermaine after that catch, do you remember what? And you don't have to share if it's private. But.
Well, it was a much built up situation because in that game, you know, Jermaine was on the bad end of, you know, a couple of interceptions. Right. And I know that regardless of how resilient we are in the moment, it impacts you, right? And we were all feeling it.
You were.
And I think I had a fumble on a kickoff return, and I also dropped a third down pass, which was going to be it was wide open, and so we were just feeling it.
At what point do you go, it's not our day?
Never say that.
Never. Okay,
never say that.
Good answer.
It's always my day.
Love that.
No, if I miss 10 in a row, look out.
Whoa.
Because I'm going to hit that 11th one, and when I hit that 11th one, it's over. It's just it's a waterfall from there. So we were feeling it at that moment, but I remember we came out of at a halftime. I remember Jermaine said this. He said, "Our time's coming. You know, we got to be ready for it." And Jermaine always used to say, "Find a way to find a way." And he was at my house yesterday, and we were I forget what we were talking about. We were just talking about life, and we were saying, "Find a way to find a way." And I remember in that at halftime, coming out of the tunnel, find a way to find a way. And I remember there was a situation where it was third down. It was right before the touchdown, right before his touchdown. We had to convert this third down, and it's crazy because the whole game the defender was playing me a certain way, and I thought like in this route I was like, okay, I'm not getting the ball because the defender's the coverage was I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he switched his position, and I got so excited, and I don't know why he did that. And, you know, I beat him up the sideline.
Wilson, Baldwin, what a throw! Inside the 40!
First down, right? The very next play, Jermaine goes and scores that touchdown.
Wilson, toward the end zone. It is caught! Seattle's going to the Super Bowl! Jermaine Kearse!
And I was just screaming at him the same thing that he was telling me at halftime.
Cool.
You know, this is who we are. We may not be the superstars on the team. We may not be the biggest, the strongest, the fastest. We may not have all the stats, But when you give us an opportunity to compete, to help our team win, we're going to show up every time. And that was, and especially with my brother, right, Jermaine, like going through all the things that we have gone through in our career up to that point, and then throughout that game at that point, it was just you saw it.
Yeah,
you saw it.
But I was I was doing a stand up at the San Jose Improv, right, and so I was at a sports bar. San Jose, I mean, Niner country.
Yeah.
And it's all Niners fans. And then myself and my buddy. And we're going crazy. I mean, truly the only Hawks fans. They kicked us out of the bar. At that touchdown, I was running around, patting everyone in the back, high-fiving.
That's why they kicked you out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, it was a little, but like could not contain the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it was basically like I knew I was going to get kicked out, so I just went down the line, like back rubs, rubbing heads, and literally just to the door because I was like, see ya later, we're going to the Super Bowl. That catch was insane. I mean, that he made in the end zone. Even we got to see emotion out of Russ, which was like crazy. I mean, I don't know how everybody was after that, but it was just like, I mean, that game was bonkers. But an NFC Championship game. So when that happens, you know you're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes left. Super Bowl, knowing you're going, is it like tears? Is it like, again, like I'm just so curious, what's that balance of like letting myself be a human and enjoy the moment, but also like you hear in every post game, like it's we're not done,
Yeah.
Which I know is a true sentiment, but
that's really what it was. I mean, we celebrated on the field after the win the locker room, we celebrated, we had a good time. Everybody came back the next day ready to get to work. We all felt it. Not only did we feel like, this was an opportunity. Now we're playing for the greatest game in our sport, but also we all felt like we got something here. Let's go. Let's not waste any more time. It's time to get back to work. And obviously that showed itself in that game in the Super Bowl.
I went to that Super Bowl with my buddy Brad. He's a little person and a diehard Broncos fan. And so I bust his balls all the time right now. But he was so pumped too. He's like, "Oh man, thanks for us." And I just texted him the other day. I was like, "No problem, bro." But sports are sports. But that game, we went out there and he was so cocky. I mean, he might be 4'4" tall, but he was acting like he was 6'8".
Yeah.
And we're walking around New York.
He should have watched us practice. He might not have been as cocky.
Bro, that's what I kept telling him. I was like, and we were walking around New York. I don't know if you guys got this experience, but it was a lot of Seahawks people. And I was like, well, we're traveling for this game.
Yeah.
And then we get to the game and a lot of orange. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. It's just like Denver's closer, I guess, maybe Seattle, whatever. But I felt like, I was like, no, I feel like I saw a lot of Seattle peeps in the city walking around and just soaking this up. And then after that opening snap and the safety.
Heard it.
What it was like from your end. Were you like, holy shit, there's a home
game? Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down and the ball's out of the back of the end zone.
You talked about the culture and the mindset. Like, think about this. Like, as much as you know of me as a competitor, right? Those guys on the defensive side of the ball were just the same. And so going into the game, when it's Peyton Manning, it's the best offense in history, right? How do you think those guys took that?
Oh, shit.
Right? They couldn't wait to shut them down. And obviously they did. Again, just going into that game, the level of confidence that we had because it was all of us together going into this game. It was a different level.
To actually make good on that though, and like you said, like we're gonna beat the shit out of them, but it was not even close. For me, it was unbelievable because it was like, who wants, and when people are like, oh, it'd be cool if it was even a close game. It's like, fuck no, dude. Not after everything that's been said. You want the blowout.